at 93. He can do like 10 push-ups. I'll have to find a video and maybe we can put it in.
That's awesome.
But
Sid can do that if you can find it.
Yeah, I totally can find it. He can literally.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Fitness Side podcast. Today we are welcoming Carly. Yay. She is a local trainer here, and she does some awesome work with some people here. Welcome, Carly.
Hello. I'm very happy to be here, and today we're going to be talking about body positivity.
And toxic gym culture. How do these two entwine? But anyhow, Carly has been a coach for what now, 2-3 years?
In Melbourne here at Crunch, almost 2 years, but overall, like almost 4. I used to work at another gym in St. Augustine.
Cool. So you've been 4 years in now.
Yes.
So you've definitely seen a lot of transformations and a lot of people being self-conscious, struggling to get into the gym.
Absolutely. I actually used to teach group fitness, and then I switched over to like the one-on-one training and found out that I was a little bit better at that and liked it more. But predominantly, I feel like I train females. So I definitely see lots of tears and struggle with just like being in the gym in general.
Yeah.
And like not only just being nervous in there, but like obviously every person I come to comes to me is definitely like not body positive at first.
It's a cool thing that you get to do. We have that a lot in the store. People come in and they're like, I was nervous to come here.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
oh yeah,
what? You're gonna be nervous to come here?
Yeah. Right.
Like there's no reason to be nervous to come here. And it'll be like, well, everyone's so fit here. And I'm like, what? I'm like,
started somewhere.
Like we're all human beings. Like
right.
we don't shame anyone or dislike anyone.
And also like it's a little different too at Crunch because there's so many people there.
Oh, there's
actually at night. Yeah, oh my God, it's like a playground there. So, it's so intimidating going into that gym. Like even sometimes I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna work out.
Yeah, no, it's a lot. So we actually have, obviously we're in our one-on-one studio, so it's private. So we do have a lot of people that come in here and train privately. But we've had clients come in here that are like, no one is coming in here during my session.
Yeah.
No footage, no progress pictures, no one.
Yeah, I don't.
And what's interesting to me is it's some of the most toned people.
Yeah.
Some of the best shaped people are the most conscious sometimes.
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing.
Oh yeah. And it's like if you started bigger and you're smaller, like you're always gonna think that you're bigger, or they always think that they're overweight. Mm-hmm. Or if you were the other way around too, like people that were really, really small and were very self-conscious about being super tiny are always going to think and gained all this weight, you're always going to feel like you're small. Like that's just, or like smaller, whatever, skinny, or like guys who got like gained a lot of muscle. You're always mentally going to feel like you're back in that place. So like, I feel like that's something that I come across a lot.
It's like a head game a lot of the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But pretty much what we're trying to get at here is the whole body positivity movement. And it seems like it kind of spiraled out of control. Like I think personally body positivity is, hey, I'm not the healthiest, but I do feel good in my own skin, or I'm trying to feel good in my own skin. So now I'm going to take the steps to get there.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's the true foundation of body positivity is like, it was a movement to be like, hey, I'm not in the best shape, but I'm going to work to get into not the best shape, but I'm going to work to get
best that I can.
Right. And I think like everything, I think social media took that and skewed it.
Right. Social media skews everything. Yeah. Yeah. So like we were kind of discussing before, but like, I guess there's a fine line between like, people who are unhealthy and super, super, overweight or like just like a bigger somebody who's just bigger, like even me, I'm not a super small girl, you know, like I'm not super
You're not a
tiny.
twig.
No, so and like even with me personally, like I've always had like bigger legs, and I kind of like probably didn't start wearing shorts a lot up until like 2 years ago. And it's crazy because all these girls come to me and they're like, I want to grow, like I want bigger
And
legs.
you probably had a shift. It was probably more like a thing for you, like growing up, oh, I have bigger legs, like self-conscious, I have bigger legs, to now, which
oh my God, it's like
now it's like, oh shit, I have bigger legs.
Yeah.
Like
It's like now it's like the best thing ever. Like we're growing up, I was like that wasn't
we talked about that too, briefly, is the like 90s like pop punk scene was skinny.
Yeah.
And this mostly applies to women, so I probably should watch what I say. But like men's bodies have always kind of stayed the same. But for women in the 90s, it seemed to be very lean.
Yeah.
Low-rise jeans, like and bigger chests. Like it wasn't about the glutes. And now it's shifted to now there's even a competition. There's the wellness division.
Yes.
That's literally about being like smaller up top, skinny,
huge legs,
and as big as legs as you can get.
Yeah. Like even I have family that are in the fitness industry, and they, like my aunts and my uncles who are like 50 and, you know, 55, whatever, they're older. And they're like, what are you doing? Like, why are you lifting 225 pounds on your back? Like, why are you trying to be big? Like because it's very different. And they still are like, no carbs, you know, like keto diet, like everything they do is to try to stay like as small as possible. It's so different now.
And I think culturally, like as we change, the definition of like what a good body is changes.
Yeah.
Like you can even see it through time since like the 1900s all the way up. The different figure in women, the different like at one point they want to be very curvy, then they want to be thin. And I mean, let's be real, it wasn't till more recently in time that men wanted to be bodybuilders. And still, that is a very weird thing for a lot of people. Like I've come from a lot of like carpenters and laborers, and they're like, just go to work. They're like, you don't need to go to the gym, just go to work.
Yeah. Burn 1,000 million calories all day. And then like kind of going into toxic gym culture too, you know, which is huge, like especially right now.
Yeah.
Like,
and it sucks.
It's the new year, so there's all these new people coming into the gym. And like we were kind of discussing, I guess some people are, you know, like
like negative towards it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they don't know what they're doing. And it's like, it's not their fault. They've never been to the gym. Like, how about you give a little advice? Encourage them, you know? So, I mean, if you give someone a little bit of advice and figure a few things out, they're going to be out of your way and on their way in no time. It doesn't take long to figure out the gym. Like, it's not rocket science.
Everybody gets so frustrated when it's so busy, but you have to embrace it, and it's
encourage them, try to get them excited to be there.
Yeah. It's so hard for somebody who is overweight or underweight to be just doing it's so mental. And it's so important to uplift everybody coming to the gym.
So I used to be the kid flexing in the mirror at the gym all the time. And now I see it and I'm like, dude, like, put your shirt back on.
I know.
Quit flexing.
You can't help it but to be like,
no,
what are you doing?
Yeah. And it's like one thing to like check yourself out in the mirror sometimes. Right. But like subtly, like some of these dudes are like full on like flexing in the mirror. And I'm like, okay, like how do you think that makes the older lady feel? Like that's like, or the skinny guy or the I don't think people have much patience.
Yeah, like my clients, I'll be like stretching with them in like the whatever, like this group fitness room, and there's people in there like, and they don't know, they don't understand, so they're seeing these people like with heels on or like no shirt and underwear on, like just like doing all these weird moves. I'm like,
I think it's like spatial awareness, like people, or I guess spatial awareness, but people like don't understand it. Like to everyone else, you look wacky, but I used to be that person flexing in the mirror. So
sport, like it's their, you know, I explain it to them too because you know
what kills me in the gym? the grunting.
Yeah.
Like,
It's so
like,
it's so funny.
like you can exhale hardly, you can like inhale, but
I
like
know.
you don't need to literally grunt.
Oh yeah.
My dad does that. Like, it's so embarrassing.
I have a couple clients who are older, or not currently, but I did, and they would be like grunting super loud while I'm standing there, and I was like, "Yeah, I get it."
Yeah, my
And
dad
it's
will be like,
so loud, and everybody's looking, and I'm like, "Oh my god."
my dad's like, "Hey, spot me on bench," and I'm like, "Oh, here we go.
You
I'm
know,
gonna everyone's be
you look
looking at
like
me."
yeah, I know. It's very
I'm like
funny.
spotting him. Can you please be quiet? Can you please be quiet?
No, it's so funny, especially when I'm training.
And like we've been going to Club 4, and it's pretty quiet in there.
Yeah, I know. It is really quiet in that gym.
It's brutal. I'm like, shut
Yeah,
up.
I know. It's definitely.
But yeah, I think people in the gym could do their part to kind of curve that, like helping people get in, like, because I don't think people should feel nervous to go in the gym.
Right.
Majority of people in the gym are pretty uplifting, like
Right.
pretty upbeat.
Right. And I explain that. And I'm like, I promise, like 9 times out of 10, like they're not looking at you. I always say that. I'm like, they're not, if anything, more people are seeing you like doing incorrect form
Yeah.
or, you know, doing something weird and like wanting to help. Most of the time, like obviously there's some people that are going to be.
Well, I
kinda
get that
sneaky,
sometimes.
but-
Like, I'll like ask another guy for a machine, or like, "Hey, are you done?" And I get like the big chest, like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Dude, I'm not chat. You're more alpha.
Yeah.
You're more alpha.
You're like, you can.
I'm sorry for walking in
yeah.
front of you. Yeah, like I hope you feel good.
Yeah.
I'm not. I just want to use this machine.
Yeah. Sometimes when it's super busy too, I'll like work in with people and it's kind of funny. I'll just like stand there and they'll just be like doing their set and I'm like, should we talk?
Or
like, what do we do?
Yeah, can I work in? They're like, no.
Oh my God.
I have 15 more sets, and you're like,
It's never happened to me, but it did.
well, that's why it doesn't.
I would probably cry. If they said no, I would just start crying, I think.
And then the other thing about these busy gyms, and this, I'm sure it happens everywhere, but we have some busy gyms here because I don't think we have enough gyms. We could use like 1 or 2 more gyms here.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it would make a nice spread of the people.
Yeah.
But like, you go to the gym and there's like 4 people on one machine.
I know.
That's not like, it's not toxic gym culture, but that's like annoying.
Right.
That's real annoying.
And so many people also, because at night, it's obviously insane, especially at Crunch. And like, that's just where I work. So I'm always there, obviously.
Yeah.
And like, so I see it and I tell people and they get so frustrated and they think that these people come at that time on purpose, but really it's just like everybody gets off work.
Yeah.
And they have
not
to
their
work
fault.
out.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, just try to be patient.
And it's like,
you
if
know?
you hate it so much, you wake up at 4 a.m. and go to the gym.
Right. I know.
And no one wants to do that.
Literally, yeah.
So yeah, back to the like body positivity at its core, not just going into the gym. We looked at that Rachel Cohen research paper that was like pretty much stating that all these brands are promoting body positivity, but
Right.
being an overweight individual, which there's nothing wrong with that, but should that really be the spokesperson for a fitness brand? It's a weird space. And what this research was really saying was social media is marketing this as, hey, this is okay. And yes, it's okay to be a bigger person. There's no problem with that. But are you making conscious, healthy decisions for your longevity, for your health?
Right. Yeah.
Because you got to think as fitness individuals, as role models in our community, we are leading the path for younger generations.
Right.
As parents, you are leading the path for your children. So, hey, great, you feel good, but like, let's actually be good so the younger generation gets the right idea and we build a stronger, healthier community long term. I think that would be, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, and it's such a touchy subject and you have to be careful, you know, obviously how you put it. But there's just like I mentioned before, like there's a fine line between like being bigger or being unhealthy and overweight where it's like there's something you have to do. And you're right. It's like for the longevity, you know, I have my grandpa is like 93 years old right now. And he's like, I tell all my clients about him because he's like super old school, obviously. So like saw the dinosaurs, but so old. But
watch this.
yeah, I know he definitely won't. But he's like just has no health issues at 93. Like he actually just recently got pneumonia, but that's like just from catching it from somebody else, you know, like he has nothing wrong with him. And it's because he has consistently worked out up into the age of 93 his whole life. And like, he's not, you know, I mean, he's 93 now,
So,
but
not to cut you off on your old grandparent, but I also have a really old grandparent.
Yeah.
And I was going to suggest asking him like what he does like diet wise and stuff.
Oh yeah,
You have?
Yes. So he talks to me about it all the time, and I try to call him as often as I can.
Yeah.
It's just extra life for him.
Yeah.
Every phone call, but lots of seafood actually. You know, and obviously too much of anything isn't.
Does he eat
good.
super light?
Yes, he does, and obviously he's not like, you know, pounding.
Yeah.
Hell,
So
salmon,
my
but-
grandmother is 101.
Okay.
And yeah, it's awesome. 101. And like I don't remember exactly, but like we've asked her like what she eats, like what she does. And it's like as simple as like she goes for walks.
Yep.
She puts honey on her toast every morning, like religiously.
Yeah, it's routine.
It's a very routine, but like she doesn't eat a lot. So it's like everything she does is like low, like she walks.
Yep.
No, I don't think she walks too much anymore. She's 101. But
she
like
rules.
yeah, like a very, very casual, light diet, which if you've ever looked in like blue zones, the blue zones eat a lot of carbs, a lot of like pastas, a lot of red wine. Like it's interesting, like the longevity food, you know?
Yes. Yeah. And if, like you said, going on walks every day, he is on a bowling league, like is in a bowling league, and he like shoots basketballs
At 93?
at 93. He can do like 10 push-ups. I'll have to find a video and maybe we can put it in.
That's awesome.
But
Sid can do that if you can find it.
Yeah, I totally can find it. He can literally at 93 years old. And he still though, you know, like sometimes he'll have a beer every so often, or like I always see like Rocky Road in his fridge and I'll like make fun of him. I'll be like, "Oh, you eating ice cream today?" But like, you know, he still has that balance, but he's just, and also like keeping in communication with people, you know, he has people around him all the time. So it's not only, you know, what you eat and what you do, but it's also like, you know,
I think there's a lot of healthy habits you can do in your life that are good for mental, that are good for your body, that are good for longevity, that are
keep hobbies, you know.
hobbies. And it's not about getting in the gym and getting big. It's like, let's make some conscious, healthy decisions.
Right.
You might not have abs. You might not have a huge butt or whatever.
You don't need to.
No, you don't need, like, there's like, that's like a personal, like, it's a very weird, like, personal thing. Like, we're doing 75 hard right now. Yes. I had a customer yesterday.
Like, I'm going to have abs right now.
Well, she's like, why are you doing 75 hard? You're like the fittest person I know. And I was like, no. I was like, look at my transformation. And she was like, oh, holy shit. Like, she saw how much I trimmed off already. She's like, you're
chubby.
You're kind of chubby there. No, but like showing everyone, and I mean everyone, no matter what level of the game you're at, that you can get better in something.
And that's everybody can.
That's what 75 Hard's been pushing our team to do, is like, everyone's so busy. We're all so busy. Well, now we're all working out twice a day, drinking a gallon of water, following a diet, and reading a book.
Right.
So like now everyone's realizing, holy shit, time management. Like it's a huge thing.
It's so important. Yeah.
And it's literally like, if you're at this point, let's go to this point this year, or let's go to this point this year. Let's push the envelope a little bit. I'm not asking you to get shredded.
Yeah.
But let's lose 10 pounds. Or let's start eating, instead of no healthy meals, let's eat one healthy meal. Or let's cut out fast food one day a week.
And it's like, I do, a lot of my clients are like, I want to just like literally have a 6-pack and be like super shredded all the time. And I'm like, let me tell you something. It's actually not that fun to be insanely shredded 24/7.
You just feel like shit.
Yeah, like you have to think about it, you know, like
you're literally running on low calories.
Yeah, but like it's also something that you can do.
And how do you coach dieting? Like how do you or how do you direct them?
I feel like when I first started working out, I was really big on MyFitnessPal and getting your macros in and hitting them every day. And then when I kind of like found my own wavelength with what I like to feed into my clients and like how I like to train, is I'm super big on like, I don't like to put them on a diet. Like I'm going to teach you how to eat for the rest of your life so that you can maintain something
So you
healthy.
be 93 like my grandfather.
Yeah. I talk about him all the time. Maybe I'll
it's
show
huge.
him this. But yeah, he's like such a good example for me and from like when I talk to my clients.
We're
But
gonna bring him on the podcast.
oh my God, that would be really funny.
All right.
He lives in North Carolina, but
We'll have to go to him.
yeah, we definitely will have to go to him.
But yeah, let's wrap this up. I hope everyone got some good tidbits out of this, some good advice, some good direction. And if you guys could do us a favor, like and subscribe to the channel, we'd really appreciate it. It helps us grow. And thank you, Carly, for being here. It was
You're
great.
very welcome, and come stop by Crunch or Fitness Society.
We'll tag her, tag us. Everyone will be tagged in the bio.